Good morning, TGIT. This case is really hard to talk about. However, as mature human beings, I don't think there's a problem having difficult conversations. As triggering, loving that word, it is for some people. Is there a crime? Is there? The friends leaving him behind because he met this girl named Katie and he wanted to hang out with her? Is that a crime? I don't see how it is. Let's say he was the only Black person on the island. Is that a crime? We know it's not true because we went through that on Saturday morning. Absolutely not. There was plenty of people of different cultures, different colors on the island. The only crime I'm seeing right now is who bought the booze. People are talking. They're talking loud. And they're saying that there was not just 4 kids in that boat. There was like 15 of them. And if you've ever been boating before, you leave your personal items on the boat, especially your phone. You don't want your phone in the water. You don't want it splashed or anything. You get your cooler with your snacks and whatever you plan to drink. You get off and you get in the water. That's how people normally do it. They said there was 15 different phones up on that deck. They said, not me, because I wasn't there. And someone knows what happened. Did he seriously just swim off and think that he was just going to swim back to the other side and says, I'm a good swimmer? I don't know. That in itself is not a crime. Heat, alcohol, and getting tired swimming could easily make someone drown, okay? I mean, that's it. And there was plenty of boats around there to say, hey, can you give me a ride back? They're not going to release the first autopsy because they're waiting on the independent autopsy. I don't know if they're going to be different or if they're going to be the exact same. And they're both wanting toxicology, which is common. As far as anything deleted out of the phone, as of right now, that has not been confirmed. Nothing's been confirmed. If I had Radio God's phone, I wouldn't be able to tell if anything had been deleted. If I had Papercut's phone, I wouldn't know if anything had been deleted. I wouldn't know because I don't know what's on the phone. I know what's on my phone. And so I know what I leave on there and what I remove. Let's take a second and tell everybody good morning. And I'm going to open up the panel because I want to hear what everyone has to say. How many names do we have for Andy? It went from Papercut, Paper Slut, Paperwork. I think someone said Paper Facts the other day. Y'all kill me. You really do. All right, so we have the GPS from the boat. Let's see what they're saying. There's also no confirmation that he was on said boat. Remember, the only thing I can think that happened is if he got a ride on another boat and some sort of altercation happened between heat and alcohol, And he was just like, screw it. And he jumped off the boat to swim back himself and drown. I don't know.
Earlier today, the family of Nolan Wells met with the district attorney who confirmed the investigation will eventually be turned over to a grand jury. They're still wondering what happened.
Now we have a different issue. It's going to a grand jury, which is fact finding, and the FBI is involved.
To the 18-year-old on the July 4th weekend. Let's bring in Anna Schechter, who runs our crime unit. She's joining us right now. Anna, so what are we learning about those new details in this case? What can you tell us?
Well, we actually have obtained new movement records, GPS data. Our Jared Eggleston and Skylar Henry down in Mississippi obtained this from a Mississippi entity, and it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel.
Okay, on the screen, it doesn't look that far away. I mean, it's obviously swimmable if you're in good shape. You know, it is. But it is a trek to swim back over there. But, I mean, it's going to a grand jury. So someone suspects foul play.
Vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m. And then we also see when the boat left. Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were. And so we see the boat then go.
We do not know his time of death, though. Okay. So 1744, the vessel arrives at Camino Real Road. 1631, vessel departs West Tip Horn Island. He wasn't on that boat. Did he get on another boat? We know that his personal belongings were on said boat. And since he met the girl, he probably thought, well, they're going to come back for me anyway when they get the pump fixed, and I'll get my stuff then. He's not going to get in the water with his phone and his damn car keys. I wouldn't. I'd be like, come back and get me.
Oh, and actually dock at a different location than.
It is. It's on the ocean. And there were rip currents that day. And all the boats on 4th of July didn't make it any less choppy. Let me tell you.
Drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat. So this is new information that is all being reviewed by investigators who are still trying to figure out exactly what happened to Nolan Wells, Mugo.
Yeah, his parents have a lot of questions there. Anna Schechter, thank you so much for bringing us that update.
Nolan's not lying because Nolan can't talk. Nolan is deceased. Okay. Did someone get into an argument with him on another boat and push him over? I don't know. DT Driver, he said, I'm a very good swimmer. In the 100 yards, the length of a football field is not easy, especially with riptides and with alcohol and with the excessive heat we always have on July 4th. If it's murder, they better solve it.
Nolan Wells.
Remember, the first autopsy said there was no wounds to his body. So we know he wasn't shot, we know he wasn't stabbed, and we know he wasn't beaten to death.
Death investigation. The family of the Mississippi teen found dead after a July 4th boat trip now planning to meet with the district attorney. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky is there in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, with the latest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. And this is the first time since their son's body was recovered from the water that the parents of Nolan Wells are going to meet today with the local prosecutor. The district attorney for Jackson County here, Angel Myers McElrath, will ultimately present the case to a grand jury. But today, she is there to offer services, victim services to Wells's parents before the grand jury decides whether the 18-year-old's death after a July 4th boat trip with friends involved a crime. She also wants to help the family navigate the whole investigation into his death.
Now, we know what the parents want. They want full transparency. And as mad as this is going to make people, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to get that. They're not going to get it. They are not going to tell them who they are talking to. They are not going to tell them what they said. They are not going to tell them anything. Matter of fact, they won't even be able to be in the grand jury. They're just not going to do that. They're really not allowed. Annette wants a poll. All right, let's do a poll. All right. What should the poll be? Let's see. Start a poll. I'll just say accident. Now I'm going to say, get ready for this. This will knock your socks off. What do you think happened? Accident. Foul. Look at me typing away. Okay. And in a case like this, no one's going to be happy. I don't blame his parents for not being happy. I wouldn't be happy. I'm the one that still says that the whole Kiely Rodni situation stinks to high heaven.
Autopsy.
Even though everything they come out with shows that she drove into that lake and she drowned.
Result.
I say the same thing about Riley Stream in Nashville. I'm like, you're telling me he gets kicked out of the Luke Bryant bar and then he just falls in the Cumberland River and gets caught by a barge days later. Kids and alcohol do not mix, especially with water.
Are pending. The sheriff is still seeking access to Wells's phone, which the family retrieved from someone who was with him on Horn Island. These images obtained by ABC News show boats anchored off the barrier island early July 4th. The photographer told us it got more crowded and louder. And sources told ABC News investigators have so far talked to no eyewitness who saw or heard Wells in distress. And in addition to their meeting today with the district attorney,
that is so common. Hey, listen, we're a lake state, okay? Every weekend, people are piled in at the lake. Every Monday, or I'll say every other Monday, you're going to hear on the news that somebody drowned and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that person was in distress. You know why? Because they're doing their own thing. There's no lifeguards. It's not Big Splash. People are doing their own thing. Somebody gets in the water, you're like, okay.
Michael Wells's parents also have to plan his funeral. That's now set for Monday. Michael?
Yeah, it's tough on that family there, Aaron. We see it and our thoughts are with them. Thank you so much.
So his funeral is on Monday. So that means the autopsy is done in Washington, D.C. All right. I am wanting to know what they're thinking or how it's going to come out. But there's new clues, according to the sheriff.
The community clamoring for answers about the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells during a July 4th boat trip with friends. The sheriff is asking for help and pleading for patience.
I think it's important that we don't put ourselves on a timetable and that we don't rush ourselves.
I agree with him 100%. You can't rush this. You can't. And now it's a kindling box. It's a smoke bomb. Because people are trying to say that this was racially motivated. Many people saw him on that island. He was having a good time.
But I do think it's important.
Oh, here's a question from Diva. Why did the friends scrub their social media accounts? Their attorneys told them to take it down because people were messaging them like crazy. You know, YouTubers saying, can you please come on my show? Did you kill Nolan? They said, mute him for now. That's why. And my kids would have attorneys too if they were accused of murder.
To be diligent in gathering all the facts. That's what the family deserves.
Wells never returned from a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The very thing that makes Horn Island such an idyllic spot to hang out for the day is what makes the case tricky for investigators. There's nothing here. There are no phones, there are no cameras, there's no police. It's why authorities have asked anyone who was here July 4th with Nolan Wells to come forward.
Even if you may think that it might be insignificant, every little bit helps. And that may be a bigger contribution than you think to this case.
Could be a public tip that breaks it open for you.
Exactly.
A close friend of Wells, Trayston Shepard, says the group spent the day swimming and drinking.
Well, we were just having fun all day, and then as the day went on, people started to drink more and people started to get more drunk.
We asked the sheriff whether...
No shit. And I got my ass handed to me when I said, you know, they was drinking. You know, they were drinking it up. That and the heat and the salt water and the riptide is a recipe for disaster. And if I was his parents, I would want to know everything that happened that day.
their drinking or drugs played a role in Wells's death.
Of course, the rumors are out there, but we don't respond to rumors. We respond to facts.
And as investigators attempt to build a full timeline of the teen's movements and whereabouts that weekend, this photo showing Wells at a pool party has been circulating widely online and has been shared by his family's attorney. ABC News confirming it was taken a week before he visited Horn Island.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys, why was the party on June 27th significant? Was there an argument? What was going on? People say, oh, there's no girl he wanted to stay with. She's talked to the police. She sure has. She's been interviewed many times. This is a friend of the family, of Katie's family, that is letting people know Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with a different crowd of people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to go get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Me and my family have talked, called, sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. Well, he is home. He is. His funeral is on Monday. And we have given all the answers we can give to his mom and authorities. Yeah, there was a big party on that island. Big party on that island. And here it is. This is the trek that they made. The boat comes from the coast of Mississippi to Horn Island. It's a very popular place to go.
Authorities initially suspect Wells drowned, although the results of autopsies by both officials and the one the family ordered are pending. On our visit to the island, we heard from a local boat captain about how the scenic haven could quickly turn treacherous.
Down there at the end of the west end of the island, yeah, there's a current that can, get you really quick, and it gets deep.
So if you're an experienced swimmer, even that area of the island could be a little dodgy?
Yes, especially with the current down there at the very end of the eddies. If you're out there trying to swim that deep, yeah.
Time check, please.
His parents are now planning a funeral for their son, which his mother, Christine, posted overnight, guys, does not feel real. She said all of her emotions are running together, and her post concluded, "We miss you so much, Nolan." It looks like that funeral is going to be early next week at one of the big convention centers here. Guys?
And Aaron, is there any indication when the coroner's report will be made available, which could shed some light?
It sure could, Robin, and there's a lot riding on that coroner's report, but there's no telling when it's going to be made public. There were no obvious signs of trauma that investigators saw right away. That's why they've suspected that he drowned, but they still aren't sure exactly why or what led up to that death. And that's why they're counting on the medical examiner's report, the toxicology report, and the independent autopsy that the family is demanding.
Yeah, need some.
Horrible. 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 I never bought the Kylie Rodney thing. I never bought the Riley Strain thing. After seeing, the autopsies and everything, I mean, I can see how alcohol and water could play a big part in it. Kylie Rodney, and we have a playlist for Kylie Rodney. That's the one that's always really confused me because she knew that area like the back of her hand, and she made a turn straight into the water instead of following the road. And to be quite honest, Riley could have just been as not a seasoned drunk because they were there to party. They were there to get messed up. And when he got kicked out of that bar, he wound up in the river. I'm telling you, it happens. My husband got caught in a riptide in Miami. Ocean spit him up like 2 miles down. I don't know how he survived that. Jenny, I'm sure his alcohol level was extra high. Has that information been released? Nope, not yet. And I understand that I'm reaching for similarities, over these cases. I shouldn't do that because they each are their own case. So they met with the DA and they gave a press conference. They want full transparency. Here I go getting myself in trouble again. They're not going to get it. They're just not. Okay? For one, they're represented by a civil rights attorney, and no one has said that his civil rights were ever denied. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's Mississippi. I get Alabama. I get Louisiana. I get Georgia. Guess what? I get the whole effing country because every state in our republic has had a race issue, a culture issue. Every damn one of them. Ooh, Tracy said this was done on purpose, so in my opinion, it is the big M word. All right, girlfriend.
Good morning. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Harris, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore. We've just had an opportunity to meet with District Attorney Angel McElgrath and some members of her team.
You know, they talk about the past, the past, the past, the past, the past, the past. The past, the past, the past, the past, the past. How come no one's bringing up the past of this attorney, Ben Crump? How come no one's bringing up the past of Al Sharpton? These people have scammed and defrauded our judicial system for years. For years. They are scoundrels. What civil rights of his were violated? He was hanging out with his friends, the same friends he had the pool party with. Now look at this. Uh-oh. People are talking. They're not just talking to social media. Brandy said the kid on the right told his friends to go ahead when he waded up to our boat. The boat was about 200 yards from us, but appeared to be a dark blue boat, about 22 and way overcrowded. Looked like standing room only. It was packed with kids. A lot of young, intoxicated kids making bad decisions. That water can be unforgiving, especially with the currents that day. I hate to see the race card being used on here. So much can go wrong out there with that many people, that many boats, mixed with alcohol and whatever else. It's a bad mix. We hope he is found safe. The community appears to be rallying together. No place for hate. Now, obviously, she put that up before he was found. Okay? That's your transparency.
We had a very respectful meeting. The thing I assume some of you may know, the thing to announce, she shared with the family that there will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone.
Well, good. They have his body, so they're finally going to give the cell phone over. Good. Because the FBI needs to go through the cell phone. Karma Libra said, could he have fallen overboard or struck by a boat? Good question, but they said there was absolutely no trauma to his body. None. Not a bruise, not a scratch, nothing. First thing I thought when I heard about it, I thought with that water, he could have been gotten by a shark, but there's no trauma to his body. Bonafide toxicology report is not back. That's going to take about another month.
With our experts and their experts, Attorney Eric Hertz is helping lead the investigation team with former law enforcement experts who are going to help us with the cell phone download. So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has. We also talked about trying to make sure we dot every I and cross every T. I know that we're getting about 50 calls a day to 100 calls a day from people who were there on Horn Island, people who are familiar with individuals that were there on Horn Island. And so we continue to be steadfast in trying to get to the truth of why Nolan Wells is dead. At this time, we'll have Attorney Hertz say a few words, and then Christine and Elmore will just talk about the homegoing services and celebration for Nolan, and then we'll take a few of your questions. Attorney Eric Hertz.
Thank you.
Right now, there's a lot of unanswered questions. We appreciate the district attorney meeting with us, but because of certain.
Here's the question. I have a question. When it all comes out, and let's just say that it is literally a drowning, or it could be alcohol poisoning, which is very easy to do when you haven't had any food and you're out in the heat. Are people still going to say that he was murdered because of his skin color? I don't know. I don't know. Let me look at the poll. Let's see. 39% of you say, 41% of you say accident. 41% say foul. 9% say racially motivated anger. And then 10% say other. Well, other, please tell me. Kalinda! Where have you been, girl? I've missed you. I've missed you, girl.
Types of confidentiality that even the victims are not allowed to know. We did not get all the answers we want. We have an independent investigation going on that involves former law enforcement, federal agents.
Good. Do your own investigation. That's exactly what you were hired for. Exactly. Don't pat yourself on the back that you're doing your job. Annette said the friends covered up what happened, period. Well, they didn't do a good job because he washed up on the shore July 6th. He washed up. He was found by another law enforcement agency.
Agents that are going to be looking into all the different information we got. The calls are coming in and we're getting a lot of information. Some of the people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative, which has been put out that is false, is going to be corrected. So at this point, we just ask everybody to keep calling in if you have any information and let us know. And I personally, if we validate you're a legitimate call, we'll call you and talk to you. And I thank you all for showing up today.
And now, Christine and Elmore will just share with you some details of the homegoing celebration for their son.
Hello, everyone. So the homegoing celebration, the funeral will be held at Centerpoint Church in Ocean Springs. It is going to be, visitation will be 9 to 11, and then the funeral will start after that. The plan is for the repast because, again, we want to celebrate Norman. And he would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And
his friends seem to know him really well because they're saying he wouldn't want any of this. Annette, heard he was found by his father. Is that true? No. His father went on a boat with his football coach to look for him and couldn't find him. No, when he washed up, it was like a park ranger. It was, yeah. Austin says, I'm not sure what happened in this case, but there are things that don't add up here. I agree. I 100% agree. Thank you, No said, why does she invite the press? She's, no pun intended, she's pressing for answers, and she's just not going to have them anytime soon. She's just not going to have them anytime soon. And there could be some jealousy going on. This girl, Katie, very pretty girl. Very, very pretty girl. All of his prom dates, very, very pretty girls. Very pretty girls. And if it's a cover-up, then they shouldn't have the phone. They shouldn't have any of his personal belongings. Wouldn't those be at the bottom of the ocean? I don't know. He's a popular dude.
So what we're gonna do is kind of have a party to celebrate him, and that'll be held at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. So we really do want to keep it for family and friends. We are gonna allow media to come in as well. And lastly, I just
His teammates.
oh, absolutely, teammates. We've already contacted Coach Les George because we want to make sure.
The press does not need to be at his funeral or the party afterward at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. I would invite the press to everything that's going on, but I would want a private moment for my family to remember my son. Okay? Lolo, when I go on a boat, I leave my phone on the boat. My phone, my purse. I just have a bag with my suntan lotion, and then, of course, a cooler with food and drinks. I'm just saying that's me. I'm not part of this family, and if that's how they want to do it, that's their prerogative.
That those guys are there. Former teammates from high school, middle school, teams that he played against. You guys are all welcome. But of course, we want to make sure that our families for sure and close friends get there. So I do want to just say for those of you, again, if you are having protests, even the day of his service, I am asking you guys to just keep it peaceful. Nolan would never want any type of violence or anything like that. He was not that kind of person. So if you guys would, again, just be peaceful. And to the community, thank you so much. Just the outpouring of love, support. We've had some local officials, Mayor.
There should not be any protesting going on. You can't rush science. That's nuts. And obviously, the second autopsy is done because his funeral will be on Monday. Now, if Al Sharpton and Ben Crump want answers, why don't they put up a effing reward for answers? How about that? Why doesn't, Tyler Perry's doing amazing. He's putting up, all the money for the funeral, and it's going to be over the top. That's great. You've got more money than Jesus Christ and God put together. Why don't you use some of it for a reward? They have his body. They said they're sending the phone to the sheriff's department today. The FBI will go through the phone. Why did it take so damn long? They've had the phone since July 5th. There's obviously a trust issue going on, but nobody needs to be protesting. There's nothing to protest. It's an investigation. It's an open investigation. Ugh, I don't get it. And a reward, if something nefarious was going on with all the people on that island, all the boats, all the people in the water, if somebody saw somebody out there holding him under the water, they would probably talk.
Casey Vaughn from Gaucher has reached out to us. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. He has, it's almost been every day. He's been texting to check on us. Also, Jeffrey Hullum, thank you so much. He's been texting pretty much every day.
We're going to have to disagree on this and that. And I love you to pieces. You know that. But I adore Tyler Perry movies. His shit cracks me up. And the way he has basically rebuilt the city of Atlanta and cleaned it up, I think is amazing. DT Driver, is Tyler Perry going to pay for my funeral asking for a friend? No. My goodness. I'll see if Boston can do it since you're on my last nerve today. Boston, will you pay for Greg's funeral? My gosh.
Receiving a lot of stories from Nolan's teachers, which just warms my heart, his classmates, teammates. So again, for those of you who have donated to the GoFundMe, once again, I stress, if you are not financially able to, we're not begging for that money, okay? If you're not financially able to, we understand.
Somebody must know, because I do not know. I'm asking you guys a question. What does the family have a GoFundMe for? Because Colin Kaepernick is paying for the independent autopsy, paid for the independent autopsy. Tyler Perry is paying for the funeral. Is the GoFundMe money to pay Ben Crump or their time off work or what? Does anyone know? Because I don't know. I'm like sincerely asking a question. Let me look real quick. Let's see. Nolan Wells GoFundMe. Boy, it popped right up. The hell? Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. We'll come back to this. Annette said, Brooks, we don't agree much today, but I love it. It's okay. That's the reason we can have combos. Okay, so in loving memory of Nolan Xavier Wells, $704,000. They asked for $750,000. Now, if this is for the attorney, that's not going to work because GoFundMe is very strict about we don't pay for bond and we don't pay for legal fees. Oh, Byron Allen put in $100,000. Woo! After an extensive search involving countless volunteers from the United Cajun Navy, they don't take a penny. They don't take a penny, okay? They are nonprofit and they take donations, but they're not going to take their donation. They will not take donations from family. They probably don't know that. First responders, local law enforcement, United States Coast Guard, and organizations from across the region, our worst fears became reality. Oh boy. While no words can ease the pain of this unimaginable loss, we are deeply grateful for every person who searched, prayed, shared his story, and stood beside our family during these difficult days. As we begin the painful journey of laying Nolan to rest, we are asking for help to ease the financial burden placed on our family. I'm going to assume it's time off work, okay? Because they don't have to pay for anything else. The Coast Guard is not going to send them a bill. The United Cajun Navy is not going to send them the bill, okay? Funds raised will be used for funeral and memorial expenses. Well, Tyler Perry's paying for all of that. Okay? He is. He's paying for all of that. And that's okay. That's fine. Celebration of Life Services, he's paying for that. And any additional costs associated with honoring Nolan's memory. Any remaining funds will help support the family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. If you're unable to donate, we ask that you continue to pray for our family and share this fundraiser. Thank you for standing with us, for loving Nolan, and for helping us honor a life that ended far too soon. Well, wow. $750,000 is what they asked for? And everything's paid for. I'm sorry to tell you guys, that's a bad look. I'm not blaming. I'm not judging. I just know how the internet is.
We thank you for whatever you can give, but if you cannot, if you would just keep us in your prayers. And to his friends, stay strong and please just take care of your mental health, because I know this is a lot. It's a lot for us, and I know you guys are feeling some of that too. So thank you all.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any questions? Yes.
Attorney Crump, Skylar Henry here with CBS News. The last time that you spoke in a setting like this, I know you guys were hoping to get results back from an independent autopsy. I know you mentioned that Nolan had been sent to
Washington, D.C.
Is there anything to share on that front?
I mean, look, if you need money to navigate through a difficult time, why not just round it up to a cool million? And where the hell did Byron Allen get $100K? Oh my gosh. I thought that dude is always in some kind of tax problem. I always have a problem when parents in cases like this profit, okay? You wouldn't know what our family went through to get my mother-in-law cremated, okay? And it was a horrible situation.
Not at this time, but we hope soon, very soon. Obviously, we're concentrating on the funeral services, but hopefully shortly thereafter, we will be able to tell some findings of the preliminary autopsy. Still waiting on some things. And I also, while we're talking about funeral services, want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry for paying for the funeral.
Absolutely.
As well as Colin Kaepernick for helping to shoulder the expense of the independent autopsy.
He's going to be super peeved if that family does not pay him a big old chunk of that GoFundMe money. Trust me, this relationship between Ben Crump and Nolan's parents is going to go south in a hurry. Do you need money to navigate through your grief? I'm going to have to say you probably do, because you're going to be missing a lot of work. Okay? $750,000. That's a lot to ask for. And that's okay. I didn't donate to it, so I can't bitch about it. I just heard about it today.
And I thank Reverend Al for agreeing to officiate the funeral services. Yes, sir.
Aaron Gilchrist with NBC News. Mr. and Mrs. Wansley, you said from the very beginning that for you, this was really about getting some answers about what happened to your son. Do you feel like after your meeting today, you have any more clarity on what happened?
But it was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information about the investigation too much, because those things are, as she said, her role and what she has to do. But they still have questions, and that's not insignificant to this meeting. It's just in general. Every morning they wake up and there's a hole in their heart, and they are trying to say, what happened to my son? Obviously, they feel strongly that he would not have just stayed behind. He wouldn't have left his cell phone. And so we're trying to get to those answers.
Attorney Crump, Brian Rose, GC Wire.
Drunk people, if what people are reporting is true, drunk people forget a lot of things. They forget to pull their pants up before they walk out of the bathroom, and they trip. Okay? They leave their purse laying on the barroom floor. They forget to take their pills when they're supposed to. They don't eat. So with this whole, his phone, I don't think he was sober. I don't think any of them were. None of them. That island was a tripping party. Drunk people aren't worried about their phone or their keys. Take it from a pro. When I used to drink, I didn't give a shit.
There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online, especially the pool picture that was shared by you, and you had said that.
Well, I didn't share it, I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come in and call. And so we've said from the beginning, we're in a ferocious search for the truth. And so things out there, we are trying to post, ask people, do you know something about this? Let us know. Just because we repost does not mean that we authenticate anything. Look at our social media. We have always been very careful to say this is a repost.
I see what he's saying, but instead of just sharing everything that his law firm finds on the internet, they might need to validate it, because there are a lot of, hold on, I got to sneeze. There are a lot of bots. There's a lot of accounts that are not genuine, that are spreading all kinds of misinformation. You need to not continue to repost this stuff. And what he is reposting doesn't make any sense. That is not investigating. Call me an investigator then, because I'm always sharing information.
And we almost always give a declaration that that's what it is, a repost. And so we want people to continue to call about everything, videos, whatever interactions they saw. And thank God, we are getting dozens of people calling every day saying, I was on Horn Island. This is what I saw. I know these individuals. This is what we know. They said, we understand the sheriff's investigation has hundreds of people calling too. And so the hope is that when this is presented to the grand jury, all relevant witnesses and evidence will be presented to them so that we can have a fair and impartial investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. We were very honest and candid with the district attorney, and she was honest and candid with us. Our lived experiences tell us that we must question everything, everybody's role, law enforcement role. That is the lived experience of us as Black people in America. And we would be not honoring the ancestors' sacrifices for us if we did not be honest every chance we got when we talk to power.
Yes, sir. You mentioned the false narrative out there. Well, I've seen quite a few of those, so I was wondering.
Well, I'm a white person in America, and I'm just going to go ahead and say you probably shouldn't say things like that, because this literally just happened July 4th, and they are investigating. They are. I did not know about this, Boston. She said there was a similar case in Texas. Kids had the phone and some other belongings of the victim. A young man was just recently arrested for it. It was to a drowning. Ooh. I'm afraid to ask my next question. I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid to ask, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be good today.
You could tell us which false narrative you're talking about so we can let people know it's not true. Was there a particular false narrative you were
There's a lot of narratives out there right now, and
there's a lot of narratives we're going to try to investigate all.
there's a lot of narratives out there right now. I'm not going to comment on any particular one, but whenever a case this big gets in the news, people try, for whatever motivations, law enforcement or whoever, people that call in, try to set up a narrative so that people will follow the narrative. Our job is to cut through all the noise and find the truth. And the truth needs to be found by unbiased investigation, as well as unbiased lawyers and all the people that are out here, all you investigatory journalists and everyone else. We just ask that you keep an open mind until we get to the truth.
Okay. I have an open mind. And so, Cal friend, you're exactly right. With no cell service, the phone is useless. Might as well keep it on the boat. When I go on the boat, my cell phone stays in the truck. I don't need my phone. I don't want my phone. I'm enjoying the water. And if he was drinking the way it's been reported by people that were there, he's not thinking about keys and a phone. He was thinking about the chick he just met.
And one of the things I will say, we are trying desperately to figure it out. And we don't profess to have all the answers, but boy, we're trying. And so when people call and tell us this is this person, and then we get somebody saying that, no, this isn't that person, we're trying to balance it all. So we want to even be more careful ourselves to make certain that we're trying to get people to come forward. And there are a lot of people who have different perspectives. We're getting that just from the phone calls, that people who were there at the same time are saying different things. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the truth.
So first, I
yes.
just want to say my deepest condolences to you, Christine, and Elmore. My heart hurts. I'm bringing the guild, WLA, Spirit home. But I want to go on and ask you, Attorney Ben Crump, you say that you were talking about the process and they're with the DA.
You know, poor lady, poor mama, poor daddy. This is something that, you know, they're not in the true crime world. I don't think they understand a process is exactly that. It takes a long time to go through a process to find the truth when the victim of whatever, whether it's a victim of the ocean, a victim of alcohol poisoning, if there is foul play, like he was drugged, because they said there's no marks on his body. There is no trauma or anything. They're going to find out. There's too many eyes on this. Of course they will. I would be impatient too. That's what I'm going to say. I would be impatient too.
Were any affidavits or possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to her to be signed eventually, or do we know anything?
Yeah, and as she said, her role is confidential at this point, but so she can maintain her prosecutorial independence. Obviously, I stressed to her very strenuously to say, we want you to zealously, you and the Sheriff's Department, to zealously investigate this matter. And Christine and Elmore share their life experiences too. We know.
Oop, I was muted. Okay, Boston just put something up. She put something that said, she's been agreeing with me for 41 months. Can we all give her a round of applause? This is crazy. Thank you, Boston. Oh, under it says Brooks. The young man was Daniel Irving. I got to go look at that. Okay. Here's the link for you, Annette, or whoever wants to grab it and tell me what you think. A link to tell me what you think. A link to tell me what you think.
Through our lived experiences, our life experiences. And she said that's not how our office operates. But we know in America, in the South, certain people are investigated differently. And we shared that with her. We didn't, ask that she understand our perspective, but we said we should mutually try to understand each other's perspectives, where we're coming from. And we agreed that we would try to do that.
Where are we at in the investigation, the autopsy?
Uh,
We're supposed to get it back Friday.
Well, no, we like we said, we're waiting. Let the doctors do what they do. They ain't got their autopsy back neither. So we're trying to get it right. And then when we get it, we're going to share it. Yes, ma'am.
On Friday in the press conference, you said that you hear on the video Nolan saying,
Yes.
my freaking phone, what are you freaking doing?
That's what a witness told us, and that's what we reported out. Then another witness had come forward and said, no, that was his voice. We have other witnesses who said there were other altercations. So as Mr. Hurt said, we're trying to go through it all and so forth. And we'll be even more careful to say this is what a witness told us in the future.
Well, being a good swimmer doesn't mean you won't drown. There's people that are trained in swift water rescue that have drowned. Coast Guard members have drowned. They have. Well, who is backstage? We have a new friend, Kristen, everybody.
Are you?
Nice to meet you. What do you think about this case?
I honestly think it's a drowning case. I don't think it's a foul play. I think that it can go both ways. I kind of have both ways scenario. There was 4 kids, cell phone showed up, and it's very odd that you've been friends with these kids for over 12 years. And I would never leave my friends if I went with them. So that was very odd to me. But then it goes back to the Riley Strain case. But then again, I thought there was foul play in that case too. So it's really kind of up in the air right now. I kind of want to see the autopsy report on how drunk he was.
I do too. And I think they know from the initial one how drunk he was, because I know they say that, time sobers you up, but once you're dead, everything is captured inside your body. They can get it from tissue, they can get it from your blood. And when someone drowns, it's not a scene from Jaws.
No.
It's a silent.
It's very silent. And then it reminds me, I'm not sure if you know about the story that I'm talking about. There was a boy that he was in Cancun with a bunch of high school students, and he jumped into the water to be kind of like cool and to look cool. And there was a bunch of sharks that ate him. And it was nobody's fault but his own, other than the people that were supposed to be watching them weren't really watching them. Like what do you guys call them? The supervisors or the parents or whatever. They weren't watching the kids. And that was a complete accident. So.
And, I still have problems with the Kylie Rodney case. I just don't see how, considering she was in a car, not in the water.
See, I don't know too much about Kylie Rodney. I think I started watching you. I've been on your show for a while, but I kind of come on every once in a while. But I've been watching you since Riley Strain. I've been watching you since the the girl from Florida that was molested by her stepdad.
And murdered. Yeah.
Yes. And you also talked about a guy named Santa, and I'm super into this. Not to get too graphic, but child molestation, I'm a super religious person, and child molestation is the worst thing that you could possibly do to a child. And so that really strung my heartstrings up. And he used to be talking about the Santa guy, and I went for hours looking for this guy, and I couldn't find him nowhere. I was like, what is she talking about?
Oh, James Cox? James Cox?
Yeah, what was it? James Cox. Okay.
He's in jail. Yeah, he's in jail. Oh, look at everybody getting it wrong.
I know. I love seeing you get more fans and stuff. I'll be cheering them on. Like, you got to watch my friend Brooke. She's really funny.
Oh my gosh. I don't even try to be. You ought to see me in my, I have this group I go to once a week, and I'm being serious as a judge, and they're shitting and falling back in it. And I'm like, fuck you all. This is supposed to be therapy, and you're laughing at me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I can see it. And that's another thing when you were talking about when you were drinking, I've been watching you for so long when you went to the crime thing. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to say it was in no, it was in Tennessee because it was really not that far from Sebastian Rogers. And you kept saying, why aren't the parents down here when they have all of us right here that can come and help them? Nobody asked us to help them. We're all YouTubers and we're all here. And Sebastian Rogers, and you were saying about how, when I drink, I don't know what's going on. I don't care about my car, my keys, or anything else like that. I'm worried about getting the next drink. So could that have what happened? I'm from Michigan, so you
It's the
you
truth.
put
It's the truth.
it
You're on.
is.
You have salt water. It's hot, which is making you extra drunk. Okay. There's nothing like a good water drunk. Okay. Being in the heat, you don't even care if you're getting sunburned. You can smell your own skin cooking. You don't care. You don't.
No, and that's what I'm worried about is I have this feeling that he drowned it. And maybe he did meet this girl, but why can't we meet this girl? Why hasn't she been brought up? Why hasn't anybody talked about this girl that he met up with? Nobody knows her name. Nobody knows where she's from.
I do. Her aunt is speaking out on it. Here, I'll
Okay.
put it up quick. Hang on.
Okay.
You might have come in late. Because I'm talking about that Brandy girl too that said that it wasn't just 4 people in the boat. She said there was like 15 people in the boat.
Oh, 15 people.
Yeah. And she said it was way overloaded. I think that's why the pump went out. I think that's why they went back because that's way too many. Way too much
So
in that
the
boat.
way I'm looking at it now is it was just a bunch of high school kids.
Well, right here, Gracie said Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Now, that was her assumption. That boat was not there. Katie made it home because she was on another boat with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and my sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed his friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Well, they did leave him because he wanted to hang out with Katie. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but I live in Michigan and we all tie our boats up over out on the rivers and stuff like that. And it's a big heyday. Like I bet you if I went out on 4th of July somewhere, I would have been able to go onto some boats, tied boats and do stuff like that. But my friend said it this way too. She said, you don't pay attention when you're shaking your ass for one. And two, like you said, drowning is very silent.
Mm-hmm.
So what if he drowned before they even left? What if he fell off the boat and couldn't get himself back up again?
I'm really surprised with the overloading of the boats.
I am too, because Michigan would not be okay with that.
No. Okay. Mississippi, you're going out in the ocean. There's really not much they can do about it. It's maritime.
okay.
And, I'm really surprised. I know there were a lot of injuries that weekend in that area. The only confirmed death is Nolan. But I have heard that there are still people wondering. It could be the rip current.
Right, but then I go back to why is your best friends leaving you and not knowing where you're at? It makes me go back to that because I'm telling you, I've been friends with these people for like a long time, and even people I don't not friends with, I'm not gonna let someone go somewhere that they don't feel comfortable. Or not know where they're going or something like that. I've always been the leader of the pack. And if I see something behind, like if I was a mom or something, because I'm 43 years old, I'm not no high school student.
Oh, you're a young pup. Do you have sons?
Thank you. I do. I have an 11-year-old, and I would not if I had my son.
Let me tell you before you continue. When he gets to be a teenager and he tells his friends, I met this girl, the bro code is you let him go.
Oh.
There is no buddy system. There is no buddy system anymore when a chick shows up. It does not
Where
happen.
were the adults at? There was adults out there.
Tons of adults, but not any adult that was responsible for them.
That's true.
Yeah, they were all minding their own business.
Yeah, but you've seen 15 high school students in a boat, their boats rocking. You're out there, you're going to pay attention. I'm sorry. I live in a hotel. I live in the slums of Flint, Michigan, and I have a family down the street from me that their mom don't pay no damn attention to them. And all of us women in this community make sure that they're okay. So you can't tell me as a mom right now, Brooke, that if you saw a boy out there in the middle of the ocean by himself that you would not, or a boat of 15 high school students rocking a boat that you wouldn't want to be like, well, there's something going on over there. That's not safe. Because I know I would.
I think it's pretty common for 4th of July getting out to the island. There's actually charter boats that take people to the island, and that's another thing. And there's
another thing.
And that's another thing. I mean, but the problem is I have seen post after post after post after post, and I do my little snooping, you know. I look
Yeah,
to
I know you do.
and they're all from that area, and they're like, what the hell does a phone have to do with it unless he was taking pictures? There's no signal on the island. There's no signal. And again, when you are drunk, when you're stoned, when you're anything like that, you're not worried about your phone or your keys.
Yeah.
What's he need fucking keys for on the island? Who's he going to call on the island with no service?
And then it goes to the parents with the $700,000 thing that they have going on. Come to find out if your kid drowns. So this is all a big uproar in America, and we already have enough racism going on. We don't need no more help.
We don't need it. You're exactly right.
And if he really drowned, the big man upstairs is going to be mad that you asked $700,000 for that much money. I know you guys are professionals. You have money. I know you guys got money, but that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I know that people
I know you miss your son. I know all of that, but that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and I know people
for a
get
lawyer that your kid might have
Can you hear?
drowned.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me?
don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't think she can hear me. What the hell is going on? This happened the other night. Hang on. Victor said that's not a lot of money. Where are y'all from? I think $750,000 is a lot of money. I'm putting the link back up. I think it's a lot of money. It's a ton of money. Here's the whole thing. People get hung up on money. I don't care what amount of money they got. It has nothing to do with me. It's not going to bring Nolan back. And it's not going to make this investigation go any faster. It's just not. That's their money. It has nothing to do with me. Okay, let's see if she can hear me now. Hey, can you hear me, Kristen?
I can.
Okay.
And I do feel bad for them. I do. I feel bad for them that they lost their son. I know that's the most tragic thing in the world. He was a good kid. I know he was a good kid. You could tell he was a good kid. But tragic things happen all the time. And that's a lot of money. That's all I got to say about the money thing.
Well, and Ben Crump is going to want 30-40% of that.
Is he like a really big lawyer for their state?
Oh no, he's out of Atlanta. He has nothing to do with Mississippi. I don't even know, he's not even licensed to practice in Mississippi. So it's confusing to me that he's involved at all because he's a civil rights attorney.
Oh no. So they really think that these other kids might have something to do with it.
Yeah, that's what they think. I want to know where the hell Victor lives that he says $750,000 isn't a lot of money. Where are you, Vic? Because I want to hang with you. I want to know what world you're in, buddy.
My brother lives in New Jersey and his house is like $700,000.
Yeah, but that's a house.
Yeah. That's true, but I'm just saying for $700,000, you're gonna have a $1,500 house payment, and then they have 2 cars, and you know what I'm saying? I think these parents have money. I think they do. I think they have a good career, at least. I mean, their kids are hanging out with judges and lawyers and stuff like that, so they have some kind of money. And I get the fact that you needed some money to accept the fact that your son died, but I think that
Maybe
700.
maybe they're expecting to be taking off a lot of time from work. I don't know. I can't say anything about it because I just want to get to know Victor, because Victor's saying $750,000 is not a lot of money.
Well,
So,
don't believe in your man. You love him. Remember that.
well, I know, but I mean, trust me, Greg will join in. I mean, $750,000 is a drop in the bucket. But Victor's from Los Angeles. I'm from Oklahoma. So obviously we can see the difference.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I live in Michigan, so like I am a massage therapist, and I maybe bring home like 55,000, and that's a lot of money for where I'm located. So, and that ain't crap.
Hey, you said you're in Flint, Michigan. Did they clean up the water thing there?
So the thing about it with me is, I don't see that they got to every single house. They've got to a lot of houses. I think they got to a lot of the severe houses. But they said when we were, because my son was in the womb when this was going on, and he almost passed away a couple of times from it. So he's got Flint water. There's a lot going on with that. So, but anyways, and they said that it corroded our pipes, and that's how we were getting the lead. And so, like, I stay in a hotel right now, and I don't shower as often, which sounds so gross, but because I don't think they changed the pipes here. And so if you didn't change the pipes all the way through the system, there's still going to be some kind of lead. And they always make all of our kids get tested all the time still. So I think there's still a lot going on.
Okay, well, our friend Nicole Merck said, my first grandbaby was born yesterday. So let's say happy birthday, because she was born yesterday, to Nicole's grandbaby. And you better be spoiling me with some pictures real quick, Nicole.
I know. I wonder what color eyes she has. I have baby blue eyes, but like I love brown eyes. I think they're so pretty.
That is amazing. Your first grandbaby. Nothing like it. Okay, so Officer Tatum is speaking out on this because his eyes are just rolling. He doesn't quite understand why people are jumping to the race narrative or the foul play narrative when nothing has been proven.
That's true.
What are we like 12 days into the investigation? The toxicology is not even back.
They have a long time.
Everybody on the island yet. 12 days is nothing.
Mm-mm. And the fact when you said that there was nothing found on his body really kind of made me think foul play. Because even if, let's say, someone helped drown him, he would have some kind of marks on him. Like he would have something on his shoulders. Just like there was a story that you talked about that was by your community, where the boy was found dead, but his teeth weren't located with him. Like that's foul play. Like the little boy didn't have no teeth anymore. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but he was like 17, and do you think that he was partying with his friends and he was on the back of a truck, and then he was found?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about now. I had to think for a second. Yeah, I've got to get back to that Noah Prescott case because that's a weird one for sure. And I do not trust law enforcement in that part of Oklahoma. Okay. It's Noah Prescott, Dainty.
We don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind us. We all cared and loved Nolan.
Okay, here's the thing. Leave these kids alone.
I agree.
Leave them alone.
They're children.
Leave them alone. Quit calling them racists. Quit calling them murderers. Their life is ruined right now.
Yep.
It will come back. It will, because the next news cycle, people will not be talking about Nolan. They just won't. Okay, they won't. But they, at this point right now, their name is mud because they left their buddy behind to hang out with a girl. Could you imagine one of their parents?
Yeah. No, I think to myself, when you talked about his mom being a judge, I know my mom works in the medical field and she would have kicked my ass when I got home, leaving my friend there. I know those boys got chewed up one side and down the other too. Like, how did you do that? Why'd you do that? You know, they're probably getting it from both sides.
I just don't even know. I just don't even know. For one, not one person on that boat was his daddy. These are buddies. These are friends. Who was in charge of watching Nolan?
And then, I'm sorry, but, you know I'm on national platform.
Answer my question. I know a lot of things going through your head. Who was in charge of watching him? Did he have a babysitter?
No. No, that's where I was going to say, where does the responsibility lie on the parents again still? Because as a mother, I'm going to be up my 17-year-old son's butt. You're at the age where you can have sex, you can get girls pregnant, you're drinking, you're smoking.
Good luck on it. No, I'm telling you,
it's going to be hard.
Call me in 6 years, girlfriend. Call me in 6 years.
You're going to be my best friend. I'm going to be calling you like,
die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Kudos to Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick has paid for the independent autopsy, flying the body from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. so that it can be independent. And Tyler Perry is paying for his funeral because it's happening in Mississippi. There are some racial undertones to this. He was the only Black kid on an island.
and that's another thing.
He wasn't. Hold on. He wasn't the only Black kid. I hate that. Black kid. Like, that's all he is on the island. We did a show Saturday morning, and there's pictures of everybody in the water. And I saw many other people that are Black. Quit saying that. That's a crazy thing to say.
I think it's America in duality. I do. I think that it's got to be right or left, right or wrong. And I think there's got to be an in-between middle.
I think what we're dealing with anymore is normal and fucking crazy. Gosh.
Girl.
Rexy said, please don't show these morons. I'm not. I'm showing Officer Tatum that is also trying to reach out to the family to try to give them some semblance of, you know, what's really going on, because he believes they're being used.
The family?
Yeah, he believes they're being used.
For a racist war.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to put it this way. I live in a community of all Black people, and they hate white people. And not all of them, because that's putting them all in one category, but I live in an all Black community, and I'm a white girl. So I can understand where if you're a Black person in an all white community, you want to be scared or nervous or whatever, but I've met really great Black people, and I've met really bad Black people, and I've met really white good people, and I've met really shitty white people. So it doesn't have anything to do with.
No, I mean, either way, you guys are all American. And, you know, some people are just assholes. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin.
Absolutely.
Full of kids that were white.
Y'all, I can't stand this victimhood from Black folks. Y'all is just living in the past with your sorry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to first of all say thank you to all the members. Thank you guys for being part of the Tatum membership program. Shout out to the rookies, officers, SWAT team, and also Wig Piece Crockett, you know she had to jump her ugly head in there and say something crazy. Listen to what she said. Roll it.
Nolan Wells. So for those that did not understand or could not conceptualize how it was that a little black kid could be afraid of a group of white children.
Time out. A little black, that boy was 18 years old playing college football. He's a little black kid. These people are so disingenuous. God dang it. He a grown man. And he looked like he was a big kid. He had to be like 6'2", 6'3". He bigger than his mama and his daddy, but he's a little boy. A little timid black boy is just scared of the boogie white man. I bet he could whoop half of the people in his friend group. But now the black kid he ain't got no agency. He just flailing around. But can't fight, can't defend himself. He just flailing around. The white man got to take advantage of him.
This is not race related. You know how I know? Because nothing has been deemed a hate crime. And the FBI is involved. The State Bureau of Mississippi is involved. Department of Homeland Security, Coast Guard. There's many. You cannot tell me that all of these agencies have it out for Nolan. They don't know him.
It just breaks my heart for the parents because all they want is their kid back.
Crass. I'm not trying to be crass, but to them, he's another folder on the desk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's another way for them to say, look at what you guys did to us. Look at what you did to us. And that's not how it is. A white man, a white man let you guys be free. Doesn't mean we all agreed with it, but the one man that was in charge did.
Who?
And fought like hell.
Who? What are you talking about?
Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln is the one that truly.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get it. No, I see what you're saying. Did Nolan use the N-word here and there? He did. But he did it he used it as slang. Okay.
Yeah, but doesn't that word mean ignorant?
That doesn't, well, I'm not even going to get into that word. I am not Webster's dictionary. Yeah.
I swear that's what it means.
Well, that's really not what it means. We know what it means and we know the connotation.
Right. But the real word means ignorant or not involved or something along those lines. And I believe we gave that to him because
all right. Can't do that right now. Okay. I don't know what happened.
Let her finish.
All I have to say is somehow Nolan Wells is deceased. And something tells me it wasn't natural causes for this 18-year-old to die who left his home with a group of white kids. I have no idea, what's going to happen, but another good friend, Ben Crump, is on that case, and we know that Nolan's body has been transported to Washington, D.C., where there will be an independent autopsy that will be conducted. But this 18-year-old didn't just...
Some chick that lives in a hotel in Flint, Michigan is not going to come up here and tell me what the N-word really means. Not today. I'm not in the effing mood. My gosh. Talk to me about fucking Abraham Lincoln and shit. Fuck me. All the black people in Flint, Michigan hate white people. This is exactly what I did not want. Fuck me. Oh! V. Oakley said, dodged a big one there. You better believe it. Oh, the word just means ignorant. If I was in my drinking days, I would have called her the N-word and said, then you obviously are one too, because you are very ignorant. But I'm not. Brooks is being a good girl. Ange said, what I just walk into? Oh my gosh, Ange. A woman that lives in a hotel in Flint, Michigan with bad water, and she has an 11-year-old son, is telling us that when he's 17, she's going to be up his butt. And she said the N word doesn't really mean anything. It just means ignorance. And we are the ones that gave it to them. And everyone knows how I feel about those type of words. We, as in white people, gave it to them. Stop. Stop now. That has nothing to do with the case. Ooh.
Die. And even if he had, if you, my friend, just another PSA, somebody call the authorities.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand. Like, you more concerned about having my phone than you are about having my body? Like, at a very minimum, even if he had passed out, like, put him on the boat and take him.
You know, I know a lot of people don't like Jasmine Crockett. I actually get quite of a comedic relief out of her because she's just too dumb. For her own good. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Well, if he passed out, put him on the boat. No one said he passed out. He washed up on the shore 2 days later. 2 days later. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Karma said that Flint water got to her brain. Kind of like Quapaw, Oklahoma, and all those chat piles. That's the reason I don't really mess with people from Quapaw, Oklahoma, because, well, we know what the environment is like there, Karma. You know, and I know.
Ashore. So, I mean, you know, we will see what happens.
I still want to know how she gets those eyelashes on. I really don't know. Those are heavy ass eyelashes.
Know that there's stories of, you know, potential partying things that may have been going on. But at the end of the day, like, y'all know we've always had a buddy system.
Right.
Like, we don't leave each other. Like, that is crazy and wild. But
miss me with that shit. How many people in here have raised a teenager? Do they follow the rules? When you say be home at 10 and they get home at noon, not noon, could be noon the next day, do they follow the rules? And I know his parents keep saying over and over and over, we have told him over and over, always use the buddy system. He had a new buddy, a very pretty buddy named Katie. He wanted to be with his new buddy. He did not want his buddies around this hot girl. That's it.
again, there are certain cultural things that we do, and that is why it is so important to make sure, again, that you show up for jury duty, because let's say something does happen and there are charges that come about, people need to understand what was going on specifically on both sides. And that is why we are supposed to have juries of our peers.
But it happens all the time. I'm glad you spoke on it, man. Thank you. I just got to touch on that. You said it, but as a black man, I got to say it too. Listen, when y'all going there for that jury duty, I know it ain't but $25 for that day, those days, them few weeks, however long you got to do it. You have to be a part of the system if you want to play or be able to go against it. You got to know how it works. And everybody walks away from the opportunity to be a part of the grand scheme of things and making a difference. So I just want to put it out.
All right, enough Gucci, man.
Nolan Wells.
Enough Gucci, man. His name is.
Listen, some of us looked out with our kids. Our kids actually followed the rules or made us, convinced us that they were doing the best to follow the rules. Some don't. Some don't. They just don't. Ilyanka is having heat exhaustion. Ilyanka, do you have an air conditioner? And I don't know why she's talking about the jury system. This woman was a U.S. congressman. She was a state representative or something like this. She knows better than that. A jury of your peers is people from your county. That's all it is. That's it. A jury of my peers would be Lola, Tina, Papercut, Karma, Laura, Ilyanka, Angel P. I'd get off on that one for real. Jenny, Janica, that just put $5 in towards the channel. She don't understand. Great question, MJ. What would be the motive to unalive Nolan? Because if this was a thing where somebody wanted him dead, then why call his mom? Why call her? Why say, we have his phone and his keys? Why would you do that if you wanted him dead? That makes zero sense to me. I mean, none.
Gucci, man. I used to listen to his raps, and they ain't talking about nothing but degeneracy. All right. The thing is that I want to say before, I think we could probably skip the Black Panther thing. I don't know. We might still need to. Let's talk about it, because these fools out here, these Negroes out here acting a fool. The thing is that, to me, I find it reprehensible for people to be projecting as if every white person is the same and every black person is the same. I don't like that. Nolan is not a representation of every black person because his skin is black. And these white kids aren't every white person that ever exists because their skin is white. Man, give the investigation a chance to go through and then make your claims. But to project that white people had to been doing something wrong. We don't know anything that happened. I want y'all to understand that. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows how he died. They just know he drowned. We don't know how he drowned, where he drowned, when he drowned. We don't know the last people that were with him.
I can tell you how he drowned. I can tell you. I think considering there was a big party on the island and everybody was partying like it's 1999. Like it's 1999. Heat, alcohol, and water don't mix. Never have, never will. Okay? Never have, never will. I get what The View is doing. Okay? They need ratings. That's what they're doing. I get what Ben Crump is doing. That's his job. But you cannot tell me there's some sort of systematic racism going on when all of his friends were white. And he had a bunch of friends also that were black. Every girl he took to the prom was white. The girl he met on the island he was hanging out with was a white girl. Why are they making this into a race crime? It's crazy. I don't get it. We know what a race crime looks like. Look up the case of James Byrd in Texas. Texas already killed those two fools that did that to him. We know what a homophobic crime looks like. Look up Matthew Shepard.
They have no evidence of nothing. We know nothing. But to project that because he was around white people that it had to have been something wrong, it's not fair. Now, if it come out and they find out these kids did something to him, then come on and put it out there. Now, here's some other. Roll the clip.
How many of us are troubled by the death of our beloved brother? Are we not troubled by it? This is why we're all gathered here, right? Because we are troubled in our spirit. We're troubled in our minds because many of us, that could have been our own son. And we have to treat it like that was our very own son. And I know you all agree with that. That's why we're all here. That's our son. That's our brother.
I am so proud of our black young men. They are here representing.
Stop, time out. I want black people to do better than this. Bro, y'all, the whole life is activism.
Jenny says it has to have adult guys partying on the boat. No mention of that. I don't know of any over 21 people that were on the boat, but somebody provided alcohol to people that were under the age of 21 and can't buy it for themselves. Guess what? People over the age of 21 that can buy alcohol for themselves, the same thing would have happened to them if that is what is going on. I'm not saying that's what happened to Nolan. It could be straight up murder. We don't know. We just don't know. I hope it's not. I hope it's not. Because what a horrible thing to go through. Horrible. He was very popular. Very popular. And Ebony, systematic racism is in the justice system. The family just wants, and they should. They should. They should get all the answers they want. They're just not going to be a part of the investigation. That's it. They're just not going to. We've seen it in too many cases. And I feel bad for parents every time. They want to know everything that's going on. And they flat out say, we will keep you in the loop, soup to dessert, but we will not let you know who we're talking to. We're just not going to do that.
Man, y'all acting like it's the 30s. You ain't got nothing better to do than still be complaining like y'all still slaves. Man, I'm proud of our brothers standing up, but when a black man died, they ain't nowhere to be found. I ain't seen black Hebrew Israelites going out saying nothing in the community when another brother killed another brother. And I got 400 videos of showing you just straight violence in the black neighborhood. I sent some videos in our chat. Brothers just doing shootouts in the middle of the street. I saw a video of brother at the gas station. It was a homeboy come around with a mask on, shoot him. He paralyzed.
No offense to Officer Tatum at all, but I think some of you will agree with me. I don't give a rat's ass when white trash fucks with each other. I just don't. It does not make me lose a wink of sleep at all when a fucking trailer blows up in Muskogee, Oklahoma, because they were making a meth lab. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't. I just don't do things like that. White on white crime, very, very prevalent. Black on black crime, very, very prevalent. What's not popular is humanity.
Dead in the middle of the street. They doing CPR. Every day in the black community stuff is happening, but you don't get no love unless white people doing it to you. Let's play the clip of these ignorant fools. Roll it.
There's only one man gonna save us, and that's Jesus Christ, the black Messiah. Jesus Christ is a black man historically, archaeologically, biblically, and he's always been a
time out. He ain't like you. Just get that straight. If his skin was black, he ain't like y'all. First of all, Jesus was a Jew, kept the Sabbath. He ain't like y'all modern. Don't be trying to connect that. Moses probably was dark skinned. Jesus probably had a little tan on him, but he ain't like y'all dirty.
Danny said bull. So you're saying I do care when they blow up meth labs around Muskogee? Because the true story is I just don't. I just don't. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to go protest. Just not going to. No.
Ends. Y'all do not represent Jesus Christ. Stop it. Roll it.
Man, you understand? I got to get it. Revelation 1:14. I got to show you what your king looked like. Because you've been bowing your knees, close your eyes at night, and when you pray, you see the same man that puts you in the dirt every single day.
Every day.
The same man that oppressed you on your job. The same man hung you from trees. How in the world are you going to ask for a God that looked like them to save you? That don't make no sense. Slave master.
Ebony, Nolan's family retrieved his cell phone and vehicle as well as contacted law enforcement for an update. Isn't that law enforcement's job? Collect evidence? Well, they should give it all to them. If they want it, and they have been saying they want it, but I do not blame his family at all. I would be calling them every day. I would be their worst nightmare. I would be a thorn in their side. That's it. But they're not going to tell us what they're investigating. The grand jury is going to be held in secret. That's it. It always is. I'd be on their ass too.
Is praying to keep the slaves. That's right. And the slaves is praying to be free. Who God is? That's what you should be asking. Go ahead. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. Bring it out. His head and his hands were white like wool. Jesus Christ had white woolly hair, just like this beautiful thing right here on my head. Just like what that sister got in her head.
Read. Shut the front door. Y'all racist. Y'all just as bad as the Ku Klux Klan and all these other people out here just being racist. They don't want to pressure on your job. Like black people don't own no jobs. Don't own no businesses. Like if you look at this area right here, Ocean Spring, Mississippi, look at all these black people there. So none of y'all own a business. None of y'all work for other black people. All y'all oppressed by white people. I put my life on it. If we went to the police department right there in that city, I bet it's black people on the police department. Y'all, I can't stand this victimhood from black folks. Y'all is just living in the past with your sorry. Okay. Listen to what the View say, and then we're gonna move on. Because you know that.
I guarantee his family appreciates the national coverage because let's face it, this is summertime and someone drowns every weekend. Every weekend. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. Beaver Lake in Arkansas. They had like 7 drownings in one weekend. 7. And that's a lake. That is not the ocean. But if they believe that they're not getting to the bottom of it because of systematic racism and they don't think it's his friends, what they need to do is their next press conference say, leave his friends alone. If that's what they want to do. Because the friends, one after another, are saying, I'm tired of people calling us racist. I'm tired of people calling us murderers. I'm tired of it. Tired of it. I mean, what, do you want another kid dead? People are crazy. There is a lot of goofy people on the internet that will make it in their mind, that those kids did something to him. And they will do something unthinkable. Truth matters.
I had to say something stupid. Roll it.
Speculation and mystery continues to surround the tragic death of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells. After he disappeared on a boat trip with friends, there are unverified photos and videos that have people questioning the account of Nolan's friends like Trayston Shepard, who defended himself on ABC News. Take a look.
Why is The View picking on his friend, Trayston Shepard? This is a kid whose life has been threatened, and they bring it right back up. They have a much bigger platform than I do. Much bigger platform. Officer Tatum certainly does. Victor has a bigger wallet because he thinks $750,000 isn't a lot of money. Hence why I want Victor to call me. I want to see how he lives. This is crazy. So ABC puts up this young man defending himself, and then The View questions his sincerity. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I can't stand the media.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
So there's so much speculation about what happened. So what is happening? What's going on? Where's it headed? I'm going to ask you.
I think what's very important is that Ben Crump has been retained by the family and is conducting an independent investigation. So much so because this happened in Mississippi. Yeah. There are some racial undertones to this. He was the only black kid on an island full of kids that were white.
Not true. Not true. We dispelled that rumor on Saturday. We had all the pictures that we could find from the ocean. And yeah, there was it appeared to be Hispanic people out, black people out celebrating the 4th of July. So what she is saying that in Mississippi, only white people celebrate the 4th of July, that is 100% not true. That is crazy. That is nuts. And this narrative is crumbling, and it's not going to bode well for the people pushing it. Ben Crump will be fine. Al Sharpton will be fine. The View will be fine. I worry about what's going to happen in that community with Nolan's family because they can't be happy about this.
And his family is saying that he would have never, on the boat rather, and his family is saying that he would have just never stayed on the island and been left behind by his friends. His family also said that this kid, Trayston Shepard, they don't know him. So it's just so confusing because
they don't know him? He has spent the night at their home. But remember, they are going through grief right now, and I'm sure everything is hitting them every 2 seconds to the point everything is hard to remember.
There were 3 boys with him that were good friends with him.
What are they saying?
And they turned off their social media accounts. They say that they have cooperated with the police.
Their lawyer told them to because crazy ass people are messaging them. Turn it off until this calms down. How does she not know that? I thought she was an attorney. Obviously not a very good one because her husband is still in almost $1 billion malpractice suit. He was overbilling Medicare and Medicaid. He's probably going to wind up going to jail. And instead of being an attorney, she's over there talking whoopee.
But they kept his phone and didn't give it to his parents.
And we're still awaiting autopsy results. And this is not.
It's funny how Sonny didn't say that they were black kids. Maybe I'm wrong. The parents seemed to say that at least one of his very close friends he went with was black. That kid is a part of this group. That kid has cooperated with law enforcement. Why are they not saying that it was also black kids he went there with? Y'all, I'm telling you, as sure as I'm here, sitting here today, if we find out that he had
Ebony said, no, that's a different kid. They did not know the kid that they did the interview with. Okay, I'm going to assume that ABC vetted him. I mean, he's in the yearbook. They obviously went to school together. He would go to the island quite a bit too. I mean, it doesn't shock me that his parents don't know everyone that Nolan knows because he's a popular kid. He is. But his tight group of friends, obviously they're going to know more about him, about them.
black friends there just as many as white friends. And if the black friends saw him last, or he was trying to hook up with some black girl or something like that, and this all went down like that, I'm gonna rip. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna do. You know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show no mercy if it comes out like that. And I just feel like it's heading in that direction, unfortunately, because to retain this civil rights stuff right off the bat is crazy. Roll it.
Currently being investigated as a homicide, but there's a lot of reason, I think, to suspect foul play, because this is when they say he was left on an island. This isn't like Grand Cayman. This is literally like a sandbar. There's no running water. Nobody would willingly stay back without a cell phone.
The phone was found because the mom did.
These women are idiots. I mean, they're idiots. It's a sandbar. It's not the Grand Cayman. No shit. No shit. And if you go boating and you plan to get in the water, you leave your personal belongings on the boat. But they're hyper focused on he didn't have his phone. He didn't have his phone. If you're drinking in the heat, you're not going to worry about where your car keys are. You're just not going to. And this same group of kids had been to this island many times. Many times. If this is a murder and if this is foul play, something happened on the island. Someone got into a fight, maybe over the girl, maybe because of the heat and alcohol. I don't know. Tempers get real flared when people aren't in their right minds.
The Life 360 and traced it to one of the friends' houses. The thing that shocks me is whoever parts with their phone.
Yeah.
This is a young person. Yeah, this is a young person, and his mom was saying that there's no Snapchat. It was more common for her son to have documented certain things. The phone wasn't in his possession, and things seem to be gone. That off the phone. That does raise some suspicion.
And those kids said.
And I agree with her on this, that it does raise suspicion if that is the.
There is suspicion. Aubrey Farina said foul play with alcohol mixed in. Let's start with number one. Foul play, who provided the alcohol to kids under the age of 21? Okay? Who? From there, they have to continue their investigation.
Fact pattern. That's the one thing that confuses me, is that why would the kid not have his phone? But then also, if they were malicious enough to kill him in a lake or whatever, they just throw his phone in there. Why would you keep his phone, delete the phone, then tell the mama you got the phone? And you know that you've done crimes associated with this phone. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I'm saying that is suspicious he didn't have his phone. But I also think it's suspicious, or at least questionable, that they did something to him.
I thought it was odd that he didn't get his personal belongings off the boat before they left, and he wanted to hang out with that girl. But once I heard about all the drinking and maybe some other things that were going on, it actually made sense to me. Like I said, I used to drink. I could give a shit. I wasn't looking for my phone. I wasn't looking for my phone. I wasn't looking for my keys. Nothing like that. Especially in the heat like that. No. And he's 18 years old. He's jumping in and out in the water. He's not looking for his phone. He's just not. He's not. Do I have questions? I certainly do. Did he actually swim off that island, or did he grab another boat and jump off? I have a big question as why, what's his name? Warren Hudson, who is an adult. If you're trying to cover up a murder, why would you call the Coast Guard? That's verified. If you're trying to cover up a murder, why would you tell his mom, we have his phone? Why would you hand it over to her friend and say, yeah, here's his phone? Why would you talk to the police? Why would you? If you're truly trying to cover up a murder, the toxicology will be telling, and they need to do it on every damn one of them that were with him to prove the point.
If they were willing to give the phone back, they could easily crash his phone up and threw it in the water like they did his body, I guess. Like, just what I'm trying to get to, y'all, is that if somebody would, no matter who kids there are, saw him die, either killed him or drowned him or watched him drown, and they had his phone, do you think they were willing to hide his death but keep his phone and then give it to his mom and them so they can see that there's evidence of them doing something nefarious against Nolan? I would argue that that makes the thing not add up more so than giving a qualifying factor of them being involved. Roll the clip.
That they didn't have his phone at first. And because his mother tracked the phone through her Life 360 app, they then turned it over to someone else's, to one of her friends.
Yeah.
So if you come back with someone else's phone and you know that they're missing, why would you not call the parents immediately and say,
well, why didn't you call as soon as you knew he wasn't there? Because you had to have known he wasn't there because he wasn't there on the boat back.
When you went back.
When you went back. And if he's the only black kid, you know he's missing.
Yes.
And his parents also said he was athletic and a good swimmer because drowning was kind of the initial thoughts, which there are rip currents here. There even good swimmers could have run into danger, but you have to consider that.
Kudos to Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick has paid for the independent autopsy, flying the body from Mississippi.
Yes, good for him. And it's done because they're having his funeral and they are burying him on Monday. They're not going to release any autopsy information anytime soon because it's going to weigh on the toxicology.
To Washington, D.C. so that it can be independent. And Tyler Perry is paying for his funeral.
It's
worst nightmare.
Why didn't you bitches do it? Why didn't you? Sonny? Anna? Whoopi? Joy? Behar? Why didn't you do it? You're saying good on Colin Kaepernick because he got an independent autopsy. Why didn't you do it? Why? You're turning this into something that it might not be without having the information for ABC. ABC has actually been doing a lot of interviewing with kids and people that were there, and you're discounting everything. You're discounting everything that these kids are saying. Y'all are gross. Not you, them. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't ABC do it? You don't care about shit. You just sit there and go, nah, 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 all the time. Papercut wants to know what Whoopi is wearing. I don't know, but it looks like handprints on it. I don't know. She's got a different wardrobe, that is for sure. And then we have the question, and I really don't care about other people's finances. It's not my business. What does the family need that $750,000 for? I'm going to go ahead and say it's to pay Ben Crump. Okay? I think it's going to be funny AF Papercut when he gets not a dime. Okay? because he is known for ripping people off. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to do another show later this afternoon about Sebastian Rogers' father suing Sumner County Sheriff's Department, the TBI, because he wants answers on his son's case. And y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but I've got zero problem with this because I think the discovery will be amazing. It will be. All right, you guys. Thank you, Mod Squad. Thank you, Jenica, for the $5. Thank you to Boston Moms for agreeing with me for 41 months. And you guys enjoy your lunch. I think I am going to make a tuna sandwich. Ilyanka. Yep, it'll be on this channel, girlfriend. All right. And Victor, absolutely. And don't just pray for his parents. Pray for the other parents too. At this point, we do not know if there's any foul play or if Nolan was murdered. But we know that these kids are living in fear. I say pray for them all. All right. I'll see you guys back here later. Love you long time, especially Victor that thinks $750,000 isn't a lot of money. And I want to meet you. Bye-bye. Victor's my favorite name.